video, I went through and reorganized my bookshelves. In that process, I've decided to donate a few books and clear out my space a little bit more. So I'm going to go through the books, explain why I have decided to give them away, and yeah, move on from there. The first two books I'm planning to unhaul are both from Tamora Pierce. It is The Song of the Lioness and Trickster's Choice. Both of these have gotten really good reviews, and I haven't read them. I have had these probably for 10 years, and I haven't read them yet, and you know what, I just don't think I'm going to get to them. If I ever have the desire to read them, I'm going to pick them up from the library. Right now they're just taking up space in my home, and they should be enjoyed by someone who is actually going to take the time to read them. And you can tell they're old because they have Borders stickers on the back. You guys remember Borders? There's one near my house. It's where I did all my book shopping as a child. And these books have made it from Florida to Massachusetts through many moves in that time. And yeah, time to give these to someone else. The next two books are both from Maggie Stiefvater, and they are The Raven Boys and The Dream Thieves, which is the first two books in the Raven Cycle series. I read them, I enjoyed them. I don't know if I'll continue on with the series, and I don't really want to purchase the rest of the books. I got these both used from my local bookstore, and I'm glad I read them, I'm glad I had them in my possession, but they're both still great quality, and I think that someone else should have them, and it's their turn to read them next. Next, I have three books by Maria V. Snyder. She is the one who wrote the Poison Study trilogy, which I still have on my shelf and I plan on keeping. The first book, Poison Study, is one of my favorite kind of young adult fantasy novels of all time. I read it when I was a teenager and just fell in love. The other two books in the series are good. I don't know if they're as good. This is a follow-up series. I think these are backwards, but it's Stormglass, Sea Glass, and Spyglass. And I've had these for quite a while. I've read them. I don't know if I actually finished Spyglass. I think I found out what happened and then just didn't want to read it. These are okay. I don't think nearly as good as the first series. And the protagonist in this novel, who I think is, Opal, I found her pretty annoying, actually. And I don't know, she's just not Yelena, and that's who I want to read from. So I'm planning on donating these. Next I have this book, Dairy Queen by Catherine Gilbert Murdoch. I don't really know much about it. It's a young adult book, or middle grade, something to that effect. And I actually picked this up. There is cat fluff all over it. I picked this up from a box that was sitting on the side of the road on my way to work one day. And it was supposed to rain that day, and I saw these books and it just said free on them, and so I rummaged through and I picked them up. And I do have a few of those that I'm keeping on my shelf, and I think I just took this because I didn't want it to get rained on, and I don't really have any interest in reading it. So I plan on passing it along. Then we have Girl at Sea by Maureen Johnson. I have read this book. I read it a long time ago. And it was okay. It was fine. Nothing too exciting to say with this one, and I think I'm just ready for it to move on. Next, I have World Shaker by Richard Harland. This one no longer has the dust jacket. When I was a teenager, I tended to get rid of dust jackets. Now I do keep them, but I don't read books with them on because they drive me bananas. Unless they're taped down, then that's fine. But I picked this up when I was a teenager, and I think what got me was the illustration in the front of this ship. Since I don't have the dust jacket, I don't have the synopsis on me. If I remember correctly, this book is about this giant ship, the World Shaker, and I want to say, and I do apologize if I'm wrong, that it's something to do with like a upper class, lower class romance, like a Titanic sort of thing. I feel like I read a couple chapters of this, because you can see where I dog-eared some of the pages, and I just wasn't overly impressed. So this has got to go. And finally, I have The Iliad by Homer. Some of you may be thinking, why are you getting rid of the Iliad? I'm not really. I ended up with two copies. This copy is from that box of books that I picked up on the side of the road that one day. And then in the house my mom is moving into, the previous owners left a bunch of books, and there was a Penguin Classic copy of the Iliad, which I think is right here. And that one has notes in the marginalia, and it just seems to be better quality, so I'm going to keep that one, and I'm going to donate this because I think more people should read classics if they can, and someone else will have access to it. Alright, so those are all the books that I am planning on unhauling. I think I'm going to donate them to this place called Boomerangs. If they take books, I have to double check on that. But Boomerangs is a kind of thrift store. There are a couple locations around Boston and the surrounding areas, and the proceeds from the thrift store go to organizations that fight HIV/AIDS and do research, and that is something that I am very passionate about. So if I can donate to them, I will. If they don't take books or they don't want some of these books, then I will probably give them either to Goodwill or bring them to a friend, see if anyone wants them. So yeah, that is it for today. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to see more of my videos and want to talk about books, please subscribe and check back in later. And if you have any books that you're planning on unhauling soon, then please feel free to leave it in the comments. I want to hear all about it. Alright, bye.